Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Amalia Fasihu with registration number A1AM2 19122. I'm from class B. Today I'm going to explain the material about conditional sentences. Conditional sentences are sentences that provide the condition and result of the condition that occur. Conditional sentences are used to predict some things that can happen and some things that we hope will happen. Conditional sentences consist of two parts, namely if clause and main clause. The example of conditional sentences is: if it's sunny, I will go to the beach. If it's sunny, it is if clause. I will go to the beach, it is main clause. Okay, we move to the conditional sentence with if. There are four types conditional sentence, namely type 0, type 1, type 2, and type 3. And I will explain the conditional sentence type 0 and type 1. Okay, conditional sentence type 0. In the conditional sentence type 0, both parts of the sentences use simple present tense. The functions are used to make a statement about the real world and often refer to general truth. In the sentences, the time is now or always, and the situation is real and possible. The formula of conditional sentence type 0 is if plus simple present tense plus simple present tense, or simple present tense plus if plus simple present tense. Let's move to the example. First, if you burn paper, it becomes ash. Second, if you mix red and blue, you get purple. Third, Nurul feels sick if she eats too much. Okay, let's see. The first and the second example, the structure is if plus simple present tense plus simple present tense. But the third example, the structure is simple present tense plus if plus simple present tense. Next, conditional sentence type 1. In the conditional sentence type 1, the verb in the clause is written in the simple present tense, while the verb in main clause is written in the simple future tense. Subordinate can be placed in front or behind without changing the meaning. In the sentences are based on the facts are used to make a statement that might happen in the future and the situation is real. The time is in the present or in the future. The formula of conditional sentence type 1 is if plus simple present plus present future, or present future plus if plus simple present. Let's move to the example. First, if I meet him, I will introduce myself. Second, I will cook dinner tonight if you clean the house. Third, if you rest, you will feel better. Okay, let's see. The first and the third example the structure is if plus simple present plus present future. But the second example, the structure is present future plus if plus simple present. Okay, that's all my explanation. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Putu Yogi Ardiantika and my student registration number is A1 M2 1N106. Okay, today we are talking about grammar lesson, conditional sentence with if and without it. Okay, firstly we'll talk about what is conditional sentence. Conditional sentences are sentences that provide conditions and result of conditions that occur or events that occur only in a certain condition is met or implemented. Conditional sentences are used to predict something that can happen and something that we hope will happen. Conditional sentences have four types. There are conditional sentence type 0, type 1, type 2, and the last is conditional sentence type 3. Previously, my friend had explained two of the four types of conditional sentence, namely type 0 and type 1. Next, I will explaining the remaining two types, namely conditional sentence type 2 and type 3. Okay, let's go to the type 2 first. Type 2 conditional sentences are used to state a situation in the future that is unlikely to occur or may not occur at all. Okay, really imaginary. The opposite of conditional sentence type 1. Okay, for example, if I got sick, I would go to the doctor. It's not real, right? Do I look sick? No, I'm not sick. Okay, but I'm imagining I'm sick. No, that is true. I would go to the doctor. It's unreal situation, right? And for express this in English, we use if with the past simple and the would and the verb infinitive in the result clause. So we use modal verb would to show we are imagining the result. Okay, let's see more example. If I won a competition, I would buy a new cell phone. Okay. Jika aku memenangkan kompetisi, aku akan membeli sebuah telepon. Nah, in a fact, I'm not won the competition. Okay, so just imaginary. If I won a competition, I would buy a new cell phone. Okay. If you see the structure of the sentences is if plus simple past plus subject plus would plus bare infinitive. So that is a conditional sentence type 2. Okay, that's the structure of the sentence, conditional sentence type 2. I would go with you if I had time. Ini bisa juga dibalik, main clause-nya dulu, kemudian if clause-nya dengan struktur subject plus would plus bare infinitive, comma, if plus past simple. Okay, I would sleep all day, comma, if it rain tomorrow. Okay, we going to the next is conditional sentence type 3. Okay, conditional type 3 is a situation yang dimana some or something didn't happen in the past. Okay, for example, if I had studied hard, I would have passed the exam. If plus past perfect tense, comma, subject plus would plus have plus verb 3 or past participle, this is the structure conditional sentence type 3. Okay, all about the past is conditional sentence type 3. If I hadn't tripped, I would have won the race. Okay, more example. I would have made more food if I had known Andini and Zul were coming. In reality, I didn't make more food because I didn't know they are coming. So you can imagine, you can menghayal. Kalau misalnya kita tahu, kalau saya tahu mereka akan datang, saya akan membuat lebih banyak makanan, gitu. Sama seperti sebelumnya, TP3 conditional sentence juga bisa dibalik. Okay, that's all my explanation about conditional sentence type 2 and type 3. I hope you all enjoy the video and see you next time.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul di BULTOM AK. My student registration number is A1M219104. This time I'm going to explain about conditional sentences without using if. But before that, I'm going to show you the outlines of this presentation. First is the definition of conditional sentences itself, and second is conditional sentences without if with inversion sentences, where there are three types of these conditional sentences. First is type 1, B is type 2, and C is type 3. And the last is I'm going to explain about conditional sentences without if with conjunction, where there are two parts. First is unless and last is otherwise. So what is conditional sentences? Conditional sentences are sentences that are used to predict something that can happen, something that might happen, and something expected to happen. A conditional sentence is a complex sentence that is formed from a subordinate clause and that begins with subordinate conjunction if and a main clause as the result or the consequence of the sentence. In English, presuppositions are generally expressed using the word if. However, in some conditions, it is also possible to make conditional sentences without using if, which is often known as conditional sentence without if. The first kinds of conditional sentences without using if with inversion sentence is the kinds of conditional sentence where in the inversion sentence predicate comes before the subject. So there are three types of this conditional sentence without using if with inversion sentence. First is I'm going to explain about type 1. So type 1 function is to state the sentence that possible to happen in the future. And there are the formula of normal pattern and inversion pattern. Nor and in this formula means nor is a normal if clause and is inversion sentence. So for normal pattern if clause, formula is if plus subject plus verb 1 or to be is MR, comma S plus will or can or may plus verb 1 or be. And the formula for inversion sentence is should plus subject plus verb 1 or be, comma S plus will or can or might plus verb 1 or be. So for normal pattern, we have if you read the story clearly, you will know the meaning. And when it becomes inversion sentence, it becomes should you read the story clearly, you will know the meaning. So what we have to notice is we remove if and we replace it with should. And then the formula of the rest of the sentence is still same. It's should plus subject plus verb 1 and then plus be. Example 2. For normal pattern if clause, we have if you don't have enough time to visit me, comma, I will visit you next week. So basically, it's still same for the example 1, but for the example 2, negative meaning. So that's only a difference. But for the formula, it's still same. We only remove if to become should. So present sentence, we have should you not have enough time to visit me, I will visit you next week. So that is kind of simple. And then for type 2, function of type 2 is to state the sentence that impossible to happen now. For normal if clause pattern, the formula is if plus subject plus verb 2 or word plus object complement, as plus would plus verb 1 or be. And then for inversion sentence, we have word plus subject plus complement, as plus would plus verb 1 or be. What I want to tell you is, for type 2, sentence that can be changed into inversion sentence is only a sentence that used to be were. So the whole example here is using to be were. Example 1, we have normal pattern. If I were you, I would mad right now. And when we change it to inversion sentence, it becomes were I you, I would mad right now. So as you can see, we remove if becomes were, and then we put subject I, and then we put complement you after subject. So before the inversion sentence, the conditional sentence is if I were you, change to were I you, I would mad right now. So like we change the position of were and subject I. And then example 2. Example 2 it contains negative meaning. So for the normal pattern, we have if she were not in the class right now, she would miss the exam. And for the inversion type, it's still same. For example 1, we remove if and it becomes were she not in the class now, she would miss the exam. So were plus first we remove if becomes were, and then we put the subject, and then we put not after the subject because this is a negative meaning. And basically the rest of the formula is still same. And type 3. So the function of type 3 is to state sentence that is impossible to happen in the past. For normal sentence, we have the formula is if plus subject plus had plus verb 3 or been, as plus would have plus verb 3 or been. And for inversion type, we have had plus as plus verb 3 or been, as plus would have plus verb 3 or been. For example 1 here, for normal sentence, we have if I had taken the bus yesterday, I would have met my parents. And if it becomes inversion sentence, it changes to had I taken the bus yesterday, I would have met my parents. So we remove if with had, and then after it we put I as the subject, and then we after the subject we put the verb T is taken. So had I taken the bus yesterday, I would have met my parents. And for example two, where these sentences contains negative meaning. Or normal, we have if you hadn't been absent yesterday, your teacher wouldn't have been angry with you. So the formula for normal pattern is if, and then subject you, and hadn't been. And for the inversion type, what we have to change if the words if becomes had, and then we put subject you, and we put not after the subject because it's negative meaning, and then we put been, and the formula or the rest of the sentence is same. And then we move to the next conditional sentence without using if with conjunction. So conditional sentences without if can be made with unless and otherwise conjunction, because these two conjunctions already contain the meaning of if in negative context. So the meaning of unless is except if, and the meaning of otherwise is if not. By using these two conjunctions above, we can make conditional sentence for type 1, type 2, and type 3. Let's take example sentences for unless and otherwise. First, for unless. For type 1, so the type 1, type 2, and type 3, then in this slide, the formula is still same with the previous example. So for type 1, we have you will not win if you don't work hard. And when we change it and put unless on the sentence, it becomes you will not win. We remove if becomes unless you work hard. So notice that we don't use word don't anymore, because what we have to remember, unless it's already contain negative meaning. So you shouldn't put not after unless. It becomes you will not win unless you work hard. And for the type 2, first for the clause if, we have if I weren't really mad, I wouldn't yell at him. And when we change it into unless, it becomes unless if it's be removed. Unless I were really mad, we not put to be were plus not anymore, because unless it's already containing negative meaning, comma, I wouldn't yell at him. And for the type 3, we have they would have kicked her if she had not given them the book. And if we change it, it becomes they would have kicked her unless. So we remove word if to become unless she had given. We don't use she had not anymore, because once again unless it contains negative meaning, so it only she had given them the book. And for the otherwise here, first example is like going to bed early, otherwise I'm tired today. So the meaning is like I like going to bed early, if not I'm tired today. And then for the second example is he must change his motorcycle, otherwise it will harm him. So the meaning is the same as he must change his motorcycle, if not it will harm her. That's all I can explain about conditional sentence without using it. Thanks. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Ayu Ashari and my registration number is A1M219 all over. Okay, today I want to explain about a grammar lesson again in the material conditional sentence without if. Okay, before I start for my presentation, I want to telling you about submaterial in in this presentation is subjunctive wish in conditional sentence. Okay, let's get started about the definition of subjunctive wish in conditional sentence. Subjunctive wish in conditional sentence is which is often used to express expectation that are not possible in the future, present, or a past. Okay, let's get start to learn it some passage of subjunctive wish. Number one is subjunctive wish for future impossible. Subjunctive wish for future impossible is subjunctive that is used to express expectation that are not happen in the future. They are the fact of the subjective wish in a future impossible. They are used modal present is can or will and are opposite to the subjunctive. And if the subjunctive is written in a negative, and the next sentence you will or you have to write in a positive sentence, vice versa. It is applies to all three types of subjunctive wish. Okay, let's look at an example below. Example number one is, I wish I could pass the interview exam tomorrow, but the fact is I can't pass the interview exam tomorrow. It is the negative sentence because in the statement first is a positive. And number one is for number two is, I wish they would not buy book in the bookstore, but the fact is they will buy the book in the bookstore. And the three example is, I wish they would come in the birthday party tonight, but the fact is they will come in the birthday party tonight. Okay, the next is number one in subjunctive with passage is subjunctive with for present impossible. Subjunctive wish for present impossible is subjunctive which is used to express expectation they are not happen in a present. The use of to be of this subjunctive is where. Remember, in this conditional sentence we are not use to be was. Okay, let's look at the example below. Okay, number one is, I wish we went to sleep now, but the fact in the statement of first is we don't go to sleep now. It is negative because the first statement is a positive. And then the next statement you have to write in the negative sentence. The second example is, I wish it were not rain here, but the fact in the statement first is it is rain here. Okay, the third example is, Cindy wishes Johnny were not so scared, but the fact is Johnny is so scared. And the last passage of subjunctive wish is subjunctive wish for past impossible. A subjunctive wish for past impossible is a subjunctive that is used to express expectation that are not happen in the past. Let's look at the some example below. Number one is, I wish I had long time to talk my dream, but the fact is I didn't long time to tell my dream. And example number 2 is Diana wishes she said, or I'm sorry, Diana wishes she had bought Barbie when she was a child. But the fact of statement, second statement is she didn't buy Barbie when she was a child. And the third example is I wish I had killed mosquito with my hand last night, but the fact is I didn't kill mosquito with my hand last night. I think that's all, and I'm sorry for my mistake. I think this presentation will be help you and will and make you understand, and I think that's all. I'm sorry for my mistake, and see you the next video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Suci Kartini, Standbook A1 M2 1906 stage. I wanna tell about subjunctive if only. Okay, subjunctive if only. We can change conditional sentence type 2 and type 3 by adding only after if. So, that it means if only or if only. If only is often called also one of a subjunctive in English. This subjunctive is used in the form of present unreal wish and past unreal wish. Okay, 1. Subjunctive if only present. We use this subjunctive to express hope that is not possible in the present. Consider the following sentence pattern. If only plus is plus verb to or where. Fact is plus do not or does not. Is are or not. The fact of this subjunctive are written in the form of a simple present tense and contradict the subjunctual. If the subtitle is written in positive sentences, then the facts are written in negative sentences. Vice versa, to be in subjunctive in is just to be where. Remember, to be was is not used in conditional sentences. Okay, for example, 1. If only Aziz cut his hair. Fact, Aziz does not cut his hair. 2. If only today were sunny. Fact, today is not sunny. 3. If only my mother give me much money. Fact, my mother does not give me much money. Okay, 2. Subjunctive if only past. We use this subjunctive to express hope that did not occur in the past. Consider the following sentence pattern. If only plus is plus had plus a verb 3 or had plus been. Fact, as plus did not plus a verb 1 was where or not. The fact of this subjunctive is written in the form of a simple past tense, and contrary to the subjunctive, if the subtitle are written in a positive sentences. Then the facts are written in negative sentences. Vice versa, wished is used if the expectation has been stated in the past, simple past tense. Okay, for example, 1. If only Russell had not been at home last night. Fake, Russell was at home last night. 2. If only I had gone to movie last night. Fake, she wasn't gone to movie. 3. If only I had revised my scientific paper, I would have joined to the competition. Fact, I didn't revise my scientific paper. Okay, I think enough for me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Intan Kurnianingsih. My registration number A1M2-19008. In this video, I will explain about subjunctive Wurträger or Wurtschöner. Okay? The meaning of subjunctive is related to the form of the verb used to express advice, hope, uncertainty, possibility, etc. Wurträger or Wurtschöner is used to express choosing one thing more than another. Wurträger or Wurtschöner means the same thing, although Wurträger seems more general. There are three forms subjunctive Wurträger or Wurtschöner, namely subjunctive Wurträger present unreal, subjunctive Wurträger past unreal, and subjunctive Wurträger negative. Okay, the first is subjunctive Wurträger present unreal. We use the verb or to be in the past form, verb to or were, after Wurträger or Wurtschöner, which has a different subject to express about a choice that we hope other people make now, but in the fact it doesn't happen. The facts are written in the simple present tense and contrary to the subjunctiveness. If the subjunctiveness is in the form of a positive sentence, then the fact is in the form of a negative sentence. Vice versa. The to be used in this subjunctive is only to be were. To be was isn't commonly used in the subjunctive present unreal. So, subjunctive Wurträger present unreal digunakan untuk mengungkapkan tentang sebuah pilihan yang kita harapkan dilakukan orang lain sekarang. Namun faktanya itu tidak terjadi. For example, I would rather she to wear veil. The fact is, she doesn't wear veil. Dini would rather he send a text message. The fact is, he doesn't send a text message. Okay, the second is subjunctive Wurträger past unreal. We use the past perfect had plus verb 3 or been after the Wurträger or Wurtschöner, which has a different subject to express about a choice that we hope other people have made in the past, but in the fact it doesn't happen. The fact is written in the simple past tense and contradicts the subjunctive. If the subjunctiveness is in the form of a positive sentence, then the fact is in the form of a negative sentence. Vice versa. So, subjunctive Wurträger past unreal digunakan untuk mengungkapkan tentang sebuah pilihan yang kita harapkan dilakukan orang lain di masa lalu. Namun, faktanya itu tidak terjadi. For example, I would rather this whole thing had never happened. The fact is, this whole thing happened. I would rather you had seen different movie. The fact is, you didn't see different movie. And the last is subjunctive Wurträger negative. In a negative sentence, Wurträger with a different subject or subjunctive. The negative form is not in Wurträger or Wurtschöner. For example, she would rather you didn't phone after 10 o'clock. Not, she wouldn't rather you phoned after 10 o'clock. I would rather you didn't smoke yesterday. Not, I wouldn't rather you smoke yesterday. I think enough for me. Thanks for watching my video. Wabillahi taufiq walhidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sulati. My register number is A1M2-18114. So here I will explain about subjunctive as if or as though. Jadi klausa yang dimulai dengan seolah-olah itu berarti seolah-olah menggambarkan situasi yang sebenarnya bukan atau sesuatu yang seharusnya terjadi tapi faktanya itu tidak terjadi. Pengandaian ini digunakan dalam bentuk present unreal wish, pengandaian tentang sesuatu yang tidak terjadi di masa kini, dan harapan unreal wish di masa lalu, pengandaian tentang sesuatu yang tidak terjadi di masa lalu. Jadi yang pertama itu present unreal. Jadi untuk rumusnya yaitu subject plus verb 1 plus as if or as though as plus verb 2 plus were. Untuk faktanya yaitu subject plus do not or does not plus to be and not. Fakta dari subjektif ini diekspresikan dalam bentuk simple present tense dan bertentangan dengan subjektif. Jika subjektif dalam kalimat positif, maka sebenarnya tertulis pada kalimat negatif atau sebaliknya. To be dalam subjektif ini hanya to be were dan to be was tidak digunakan dalam kalimat bersyarat. For example, yang pertama itu it is cloudy as if it's going to rain. Fact, it had not rained yet. It could be raining but it hasn't happened yet. Jadi awannya itu seolah-olah akan hujan, tetapi faktanya belum turun hujan. Bisa saja hujan tapi itu belum terjadi. Next, for example, you look very confident as though you will pass the exam. Fact, the test scores have not come out and there is no certainty that they will pass good marks. So that this conditional sentence can mean as if it will happen but has not happened. Anda terlihat sangat percaya diri dari seolah-olah Anda akan lulus ujian. Faktanya nilai tes belum keluar dan belum ada kepastian lulus dengan nilai yang bagus, sehingga kalimat kondisional ini dapat diartikan seolah-olah akan terjadi tetapi belum terjadi. Contoh selanjutnya yaitu they are sleeping in the class as if the teacher were not there. Fact, the teacher is in the class and they are sleeping. Mereka tidur di kelas seolah-olah gurunya tidak ada, tetapi faktanya guru ada di kelas dan mereka sedang tidur. Selanjutnya yaitu past unreal. Fakta dari subjektif ini ditulis dalam bentuk simple past tense dan bertolak belakang dengan subjektifnya. Jika subjudul ditulis dalam kalimat negatif, maka fakta dituliskan dalam kalimat positif, atau sebaliknya. Wish digunakan jika ekspektasi telah dinyatakan di masa lalu. Jadi untuk rumusnya yaitu subject plus verb 2 plus as if or as though as plus had plus verb 3 or had plus been. Untuk faktanya subject plus did not plus verb 1 or was and were plus not. For example is yang pertama itu he seems as if he had slept for days. Fact, he has slept in days, but in reality he is or maybe we don't know the truth. Dia sepertinya tidak tidur selama berhari-hari, tetapi faktanya dia tidak tidur berhari-hari, tapi kenyataannya dia atau mungkin kita tidak tahu yang sebenarnya. Untuk contoh keduanya, they looked as if they knew their mistake. Fact, the speaker already knows the answer, but he or he give impression or looks like he knows the answer. Mereka tampak seolah-olah tahu kesalahan mereka, tetapi faktanya pembicara sudah mengetahui jawabannya, tetapi dia memberi kesan sepertinya dia tahu jawabannya. Yang ketiga, Fitri talk as though she had been always right. Fact, he is not always right and has faults that she is not aware of. Fitri berbicara seolah-olah dia selalu benar. Faktanya dia tidak selalu benar dan memiliki kesalahan yang dia tidak sadari.
I think that's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.